Remulla is being tapped by the incoming Marcos administration to be the next Justice Secretary. Let's talk more about this nomination with Congressman Remulla himself. He joins us now over the phone. Good afternoon, Kong Boying. First of all, you ran unopposed in Cavite in your district and had been re-elected this 2022 elections. What happens now to your seat in Congress if and when you do assume the DOJ Secretary post?
Well, there are two modes that happen when there is a vacancy. One is a taker system when there's little left for an election to be held, or a special election that can be done 45 days after the COMELEC is notified of the vacancy.
All right. Are you inclined, Kong, to take the post?
Yes, I accepted the post from the president 3 days after the elections. But I couldn't speak out publicly because for certain reasons, and I wanted the executive secretary to be out already in the open, so that little by little the cabinet can be known. So it's in reference to the primus inter pares, the cabinet secretary, that we wait for that to happen. And today, because it's the canvassing will be held tomorrow, and I am part of the National Canvassing Committee, I thought it's wisest to disclose to all that I have been tapped to be part of the cabinet, so that any conflict of interest that may be questioned may be brought out in the open if there is a doubt. So it's a matter of transparency. That's why I had to relay the message to the public that I have accepted the job to be Secretary of Justice.
Right, thank you for sharing that with us, Congressman Remulla. Have you spoken to presumptive President Bongbong Marcos yet about this nomination personally? And was he able to set any priorities that he wants the DOJ to tackle?
The President and I have had conversations during the campaign about different problems of the country, among them the problem of justice. And the priority is really to be able to give a better quality of life to the Filipinos. And probably the other one, which has always been the problem for the past so many years, is the cry for justice. So it's a matter of streamlining the process and, of course, correcting many of the defective mechanisms that there are in the different bureaus and departments that are there under the umbrella of the Department of Justice.
All right, and have you spoken to outgoing Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara to go over this transition process to ensure smoothness?
My Chief of Staff is arranging for a briefing already from the department, of course, to Secretary Guevara. Hopefully, by early next week, we can have the briefing done. And to learn more about the problems, because a very smooth turnover is necessary for the institutional continuity not to be disturbed, so that the work can go on untouched, untrammeled by any delays. And the deadline is always yesterday when it comes to the problems of justice, because for every day that somebody is unjustly detained, it's already a miscarriage of justice. So it's just one sample of the problem that we have to deal with, and there are more. We have to deal with organized crime syndicate, the fact that our country is the center of child pornography. There are many things we have to do about our country. And the president needs help. He asked me to help him. And it is an honor to be tapped by the president, to be part of the team that will, as he said to me, well, maybe I can tell you that the first words he told me when we first went around in the caravan was, if we pull this off, if we win, we cannot afford to fail. And that was always in my mind the first time he told me. But never did I have an idea that I would be tapped for the cabinet. I was surprised by his call 3 days after the elections that I was already in his list and that he was asking me to join him. And who can say no to the president? The president who was elected by a super majority of Filipinos. It's once in a lifetime opportunity for a lawyer like me to serve in a position as a Secretary of Justice.
Right, and as Justice Secretary, Congressman Remulla, you will, of course, sit as a part of the Anti-Terror Council. And, of course, there have been concerns about possible abuses of the anti-terror law. I'm sure you've heard about this. How do you plan to address this specifically?
Well, transparency. I think transparency is the best way to address it so that there will be no fake news given out, to be open to media scrutiny, to be open to public scrutiny. Sean, I haven't changed my number in 20 years. I've always been within reach of the people who want to talk to me. Hindi ako nagtatago kahit kanino pag may kailangan pag-usapang importante. Kailangan talaga upfront tayo sa trabaho natin dito.
Right, we appreciate that, Congressman Remulla. Now, the DOJ also has a current and ongoing probe into the Duterte administration's drug war. Is this something that you plan on pursuing once you are the Secretary of Justice, sir?
Definitely. If the work is turned over to me already, it will be part of the agenda we will have to follow, and we will have to look if there were abuses, a miscarriage of justice, if there were people who were wrongly convicted or people who were allowed to go free in spite of any apprehensions. It's like an audit of the whole thing. And hopefully, as they say, as I have repeated so many times today, in the movie, there's a movie where they say justice for all. And that's the aim of the leadership want to give to the Department of Justice.
All right, justice for all is definitely going to be your battle cry, Congressman Remulla, once you're the Secretary of Justice. Any other plans that you have for the DOJ as early as now, just to wrap things up?
I cannot delve into the details, but I've discussed some of them with. I've sounded off many of my good friends who are in the different departments, friends who went to school with me, who know how it works. I bounced off a few ideas, and they like the idea so far that may probably improve many of those agencies under the portfolio of the Department of Justice.
All right, looking forward to talk to you as officially the Secretary of Justice. Thank you so much for your time. Cavite Representative Boying Remulla over the phone. Thank you, sir. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. Watching One News Now, I'm Sean Yao. The COMELEC is looking into reports of discarded election paraphernalia in Cavite. Let's get the details from Greg Gregorio, who joins us live now from the city of Manila. Greg, hello. What's the latest on the COMELEC's investigation into all these discarded election paraphernalia? All right, it seems we have a little bit of a problem with Greg Gregorio's audio. We'll try to fix that. In the meantime, let's move on to another story first. We have Philippine health officials not seeing any reason to close our borders just yet, despite the monkeypox outbreaks being reported in some countries. JC Cosico with that report.
Despite the emergency meeting held by the World Health Organization due to the monkeypox outbreak in some countries, National Task Force Advisor Ted Herbosa says there is no need to close the Philippines' borders yet. So far, around 100 cases of monkeypox have been recorded in various parts of Europe. A few cases were also logged in the US, Canada, and Australia. During the Laging Handa public briefing, Herbosa explained that monkeypox is nothing new. In fact, it has been around since 1958 and can be treated. He added that vaccines can also be created against monkeypox. Herbosa also said that monkeypox is not as contagious as COVID-19. He noted that some experts are also of the opinion that it will not result into a pandemic and that border closure will have a worse impact to the country's economy.
Nakita niyo naman, ang pagsara ng borders, malaki ang epekto sa turismo, ekonomiya, at saka supply chain ng ating mga goods and services. So hindi sapat or hindi tama na dapat mag-close down dahil parang sinabi mo lang may outbreak ng bulutong tubig sa ibang parte ng mundo. Magbabantay rin tayo at maghahanda tayo ng preparedness.
Herbosa also said people can only be infected with monkeypox through close contact and droplets. The WHO has also earlier announced the virus causing the disease only leads to mild infections presenting as fever and rashes. That's why for Herbosa, monkeypox is nothing to worry about right now. He advised the public to continue practicing health protocols such as physical distancing and wearing a face mask to prevent any infection.
Basta importante ay aware tayo about sanitation and cleanliness, hygiene, mas less ang chance makakuha ng infectious disease. At yung paghawak ng mga hayop, kasi nga ito ay zoonotic diseases.
Currently, there is no vaccine for monkeypox yet, but some studies show that a smallpox vaccine is 85% effective against the virus. For News 5, JC Cosico, We Are One News.
All right, I'm going to circle back to Greg Gregorio, who's reporting to us live from Manila about the discarded election paraphernalia in Cavite. Greg, what's the latest with the COMELEC regarding that investigation?
Hi, Sean. Yes, the local COMELEC office in Manila conducted their own investigation, which says that these paraphernalia were placed in a black box, which weren't supposed to be collected by the representatives of the F2 Logistics while doing their reverse logistics commitment under a contract with the COMELEC. Attorney Gregorio Bonifacio of the COMELEC Manila said it just so happened that these black boxes were located closely near with the VCMs, or the vote counting machines, which were the only ones which the F2 Logistics representatives were only supposed to get and transport back to Santa Rosa, Laguna's warehouse of the Commission on Elections. Bonifacio admitted, though, that he can't explain why these individuals took the black boxes with them when it's clear that it is not part of their responsibility. Now, apart from this investigation, COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia said he will still be demanding a formal investigation in order to get an explanation from F2 Logistics why did this happen, and how did this happen. This investigation results would determine what would happen with the contract between the COMELEC and the F2 Logistics, as well as what will happen to the payment due to the F2 Logistics. Now, pending this investigation, the COMELEC would like to reiterate that no official ballots were included or part of this discarded paraphernalia, as most of these were only non-accountable forms and election returns which were not claimed by parties during the day of the elections. Sean?
All right, so just to confirm, Greg, has FD Logistics explained their side of the story? Have they released any sort of statement?
Sean, just to be clear, the F2 Logistics hasn't released any statement as according to this issue yet, and the COMELEC themselves is asking an explanation from the F2 Logistics as we speak. Sean?
All right, we'll watch out for that piece of news and that update. For now, Greg, how are preparations going for the special elections that are set to take place in Lanao del Sur?
Yes, Sean, according to Attorney Chafisto El Nas, the Deputy Executive Director Officer of the COMELEC, preparations are now in place. They have already prepositioned 15 vote counting machines or contingency vote count machines and SD cards for all the 15 clustered precincts where the special elections will take place tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, more than 6,000 registered voters will benefit from this special elections. And according to the COMELEC, this would be vital for the proclamation of the winning local candidates in the municipality of Tubaran in Lanao del Sur. Sean?
All right, another thing, of course, that this is crucial to is the winning party list groups and their announcement. How are preparations going for that? Can we still expect these winning party list groups to be proclaimed by the end of the week? They said initially Friday, May 27th.
Yeah, Sean, based on the timeline given by COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia, once the special elections is conducted tomorrow, they expect the transmission of the certificate of canvass from the province of Lanao del Sur to Lanao del Sur by midnight, and then they will resume their session for the canvassing on the 25th. And then Garcia said the proclamation for the winning party list groups would be possible by 26th. Sean?
Oh, wow. Okay, one day early. Thank you so much for all those updates. That was Greg Gregorio of News 5 reporting to us live from Manila. Thank you, Greg. And here's some piece of news that just crossed the wires. Presumptive President Bongbong Marcos confirms that he has asked former NEDA chief Arsenio Balisacan to return to the government's economic planning agency. Stay tuned right here on One News as we bring you more details on this development. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.